Republican governors from southern states issuing a statement condemning the UAW's push to unionize thousands of auto workers, warning it could lead to layoffs. The statement comes as Volkswagen's factory in Tennessee voting today on unionization. Joining us right now is one of those officials, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp. Good morning to you, Governor. We appreciate you joining us.
Hey, good morning.
How did you decide to sign this letter, and what are you trying to tell folks in the state of Georgia about these unionization efforts?
Well, really, the model down here, it's working. It's doing great. We have great relationships between our employers and their employees, and there's a reason that the South and the Southeast GDP is now outpacing the Northeast, and I don't think Shawn Fain understands that, and the way the UAW's tactics have been. I just don't think it's going to play real well down here. And our message is, look, we are recruiting these great companies that are coming and building plants in our state and providing jobs that pay above the county average county wage, great benefits, and they have great relationship with our employers. And you know, his Bernie Sanders type tactics are just, I don't think are going to play well in the South.
And you think ultimately it's going to result in layoffs if in fact the unions were to win there? I mean, the flip side of that, of course, is you're looking at the Detroit strike in terms of 25% pay raises. So there are workers, I think, in your state that are looking at that going, look at what those guys just got, and we don't have that.
Well, I think what people are looking at there, Andrew, is that Shawn Fain helped a few and screwed others. Because, I mean, you're seeing the big three laying off plants because the costs going up. They're having to idle their plans for electric vehicles and other things in the marketplace. And you look at places like Georgia, you're not seeing that happen. You're seeing people full steam ahead, companies giving pay raises and continuing to work with their employers to make sure that they can keep up with Biden inflation.
Seems pretty unprecedented, though, Governor, for you and the other governors to sign this letter. Why not just let the workers vote? And if everything is going as well as you say, won't they reject this effort?
Well, I mean, look, the workers are going to be voting today. You know, we just want to make sure it's a level playing field and people aren't browbeat by, you know, Bernie Sanders-like tactics from Shawn Fain that literally are destroying great American companies. I mean, we don't want to see that in the Southeast. There's a reason that these businesses are coming here is because we have great workforce. They're paying that workforce. When you look at the South and the, you know, like in Georgia, our increase in wages is well above the national average because of companies like this paying better wages and better benefits and giving great opportunity for our people. And what the UAW is doing is going to destroy those type relationships, and we've seen that in the Northeast, and simply we don't want to see it in the Southeast. And listen, we have great relationships with other unions that are here in our state now, but they actually work with our businesses and our employers to make things work, and that's not been the UAW's tactic.
Governor, do you think that employees in Georgia at some of the automobile makers have already been beneficiaries, if you will, of the UAW and other unions' successful efforts elsewhere, meaning that the knock-on effects of raising wages in other states, in other parts of industry, have forced or created pressure to raise the rates anyway?
Well, we were seeing rates and salaries and benefits go up in Georgia long before the UAW fight. Just because of the growth that we've had in our state coming out of COVID, not wavering when we were the first in the country to reopen, even when we had people on both sides criticizing us of that. Our unemployment rate continues to be near record low, which is way below our previous record. So it's been a competitive environment here where wages have continued to go up. The problem is for our workers is our wages are going up. But unfortunately, until recently, they weren't going up fast enough to keep up with the disastrous policies of the Biden administration when we saw energy, groceries, insurance, mortgage rates, rent, and other things going up exponentially.
I was going to ask you about that, Governor, because I noticed that you called it Bidenflation. And I wanted to understand whether you hold President Biden accountable for the inflation that's taken place during the last 3.5 years, whether you look at Jay Powell and say that the Federal Reserve missed it. Is it his fault if you're going to lay blame? How do you think about inflation and whether a president can control it?
Well, listen, it's easy to go back and criticize the Fed now. I personally think they waited way too long to start raising rates, and I hope they don't wait too long to start lowering them. But I do think they're in a good posture right now from what I know. But look, there's no doubt that this president has spent an enormous amount of money, pumped an enormous amount of money into the economy. While at the same time, early in his administration, he was telling people, stay home, don't come back to work, which created, much more demand than supply out there because people weren't in the workforce, which drove prices up. And then when you start having pieces of legislation like IRA and others that are mandating certain things, like electric vehicles, it continues to drive prices up on batteries, rare earth minerals, the whole supply chain network. So, yes, I do think the Biden administration's policies have created this inflationary environment that we're in.
And let me ask you finally about the EV market, because I know you're a proponent of trying to attract electric vehicle production to Georgia, but EVs have become almost a political football for some. I mean, there is a view that some people are not buying EVs in part because it's considered politically incorrect, potentially, if you're in a red state. What do you think of that?
Yeah, look, I agree. I mean, that's the problem with the IRA. I sent a letter to our two U.S. senators before the vote and said, this bill is picking winners and losers. Joe Biden and the Democrats are trying to help the union-backed automakers, and they're punishing the non-union folks like we have down in the South. And that's the problem. When you start mandating these things, it's just like on the vaccine. When they started being mandated, it made it all political versus letting the companies decide what their customers are going to want in the future. The government is not going to do a better job than the companies on what kind of vehicle people are going to be buying. But, I visited Porsche's North American headquarters this week. Their sales and their electric vehicles that they're rolling out are incredible. I was at the club car ribbon cutting yesterday. They have an electric utility vehicle that people are using like landscaping crews on college campuses. Their sales are off the charts because that's what their customers want. And so I think the market's going to continue to work. I mean, I used an electric chainsaw the last 2 weekends. People are fishing in bass tournaments using electric trolling motors. So we just have to let the market dictate the needs of the consumer and what they want versus the government and Joe Biden telling them what to do.